Good morning, gang. Happy Saturday morning. Okay, it's the weekend. I'm going to do something this morning that I don't do very often. I'm going to call out conservatives, not politicians, the people. Okay. Yeah. We bitch all the time about the rules for thee and not for me stance that Democrats seem to take. Except on this issue, all of a sudden, it sounds like there's a whole bunch of conservatives that are taking this issue. How many times have we, conservatives, I'm saying, bitched that, oh, gee, anybody can walk into a polling place and just say they're Bob Smith and vote? I mean, I even gave you an example years ago when I was in Massachusetts and voted in the presidential election, and literally all they did was ask me my name, and I'm standing there looking at the whole sheet, and I could have said, I'm Bob Smith, and they would have checked off the box and let me go, because I wasn't required to give ID. How many conservatives are, including me, extremely pro-deport all the illegals, right? And we've heard stories of people mistakenly being assumed to be illegal, right? ID is something that is extremely important to have. You want to buy beer, buy cigarettes, open a bank account, a litany, get a library card, anything, you have to show ID, right? Okay. Well, yesterday, the Department of Homeland Security, and Kristi Noem came out and said that effective May 7th, finally, the U.S. government is going to start enforcing the need to have a real ID. Okay, and by real ID, that's what it's called. But if you look at your driver's license, if you've got a little gold star up in the right-hand corner, that is a real ID. That means you have confirmed who you are, that the information is correct, and that you are a U.S. citizen. Okay. And yet, it's been 20 years in the making. This law was originally written in 2005, believe it or not, in response to the 9/11 attacks. Okay. And finally, 20 years later, we're going to start enforcing it. And all of a sudden, people are freaking out. Oh my God, I can't believe I have to do this, yada, yada, yada. This is so unfair. Wait a minute. We bitch and moan that people can go vote without an ID. We bitch and moan that there's a whole bunch of illegals in this country. But when the government finally actually does something to confirm that people are actually who they say they are, no fake IDs, right? We complain. Somebody explain the logic to me on this one. Now, how is this going to change your life? Disclaimer here. I do not have a real ID. My driver's license does not have a star in it. I got my driver's license here in Tennessee in 2019, and because of some of the craziness that they want you to do when you move, they just give me a normal ID. I didn't care, okay? I have my driver's license, so be it. In order to get a real ID, and I'm going to go into a couple of details on this. You need to prove, in other words, provide documentation at the DMV, your full legal name, which shouldn't be too difficult because you've got multiple documents that have it, probably an old driver's license. Okay. Your date of birth, which means having your birth certificate. Your social security number, which means having your social security card. And your lawful status. Well, your lawful status is real easy. If you got a birth certificate from the United States, that's simple, okay? And if you don't, i.e. Mrs. P, it was pretty simple. We just took her naturalization certificate that says she's now a U.S. citizen. No big deal. As well as 2 proofs of address. Your phone bill and your electric bill or something like that. Rent documents or your mortgage statement or something. It's not overly difficult. Okay. Now, I had a friend of mine telling me a story about a friend of hers yesterday about how difficult this was going to be. And I get it, okay, that, oh shit, you know, I don't have all this stuff, I got to come up. This lady's house burned down, okay? That sucks. And in her house, what burned was, of course, all her important documents, which kind of goes back to what I've said many times, is you should have all your important documents ready to go in some sort of folder, briefcase, whatever, that you can grab everything and beat feet out the door. So you've got it all. But even then, getting copies of all the paperwork that you need is time consuming, but it's not that difficult, okay? You can easily contact the county you were born in and say, I need an official copy of my birth certificate. You can get a hold of the Social Security Administration and says, I need a new Social Security card, okay? In regards to the women, this comes into play. Maybe you need to have marriage certificates or divorce decrees because you were born Mary Jones, but you got married to John Smith, so then you changed your name to Mary Smith, then you divorced John Smith, and you married Bob Jones, and now you're Mary Jones. Okay. Yes, you need to prove your full legal name. Here's my most recent marriage certificate. Welcome to the United States, right? And here's my birth certificate. Obviously, this is me. Okay. Yes, it's time consuming. It takes a bit of time to get it. But regardless whether you need to get a real ID or not, all those documents you should have anyway, because you're going to need them for other things. You want to buy a house for sure. You're going to need copies of divorce decrees or marriage certificates or your Social Security card or something. Absolutely. Okay. So, yeah, well, you want to get your ID real quick. Having all this stuff takes time. You know, God knows a passport takes you forever. Or a Social Security card in this case might take forever. But you got to do it. Okay. So, if you don't have all those documents handy now, get them. Start the paperwork. It's not that difficult. Maybe it'll cost you a couple of bucks to get some of them, but you need to have all that paperwork because it's a pain to get it later. But the question comes in to why we need a real ID. And reading on social media yesterday, people screaming bloody murder. Oh my God, they're making it a requirement. You've got to get a new real... Nope, you don't. There's no requirement at all to get a real ID. None. My driver's license that doesn't have a star on it is still a perfectly valid driver's license. If a cop pulls me over, it's still perfectly valid. He's not going to say, gee, you don't have a little star on here. You know, you can't drive. Nope. Okay. The real ID is only required, or will be soon, to get on an airplane. Right now, you can use it as ID. Some states already won't even take a non-real ID driver's license. Okay? But come May 7th, all states will require you to have a real ID to get on a plane. Or a passport. I have a passport. I was on a plane 2 months ago. Okay? Don't have a real ID. I walked up to TSA, said, here's my passport. They scanned it. They got me on the plane, and I was flying domestically. It didn't matter. Okay? Not a big deal. The other places you need to have a real ID to get into a federal building. Okay? Post office doesn't count. Honestly, when's the last time you've been in a federal building? Now, if you work at one, it's okay. Okay. The last time Mrs. P and I have been in a federal building was her naturalization ceremony, and I couldn't even go in because it was during COVID. Okay. And she was getting naturalized, so she had all the paperwork, and they let her in the building. Okay. That was 4 years ago. So, no. Unless you're going into a federal courthouse, I don't know why, because you've been arrested, you got bigger problems than the ID you got. Okay. Or the other place that you can't get into without a real ID is any nuclear facilities. When's the last time you've been in a nuclear facility? Okay, making my point. All these people on social media that are totally freaking out about, oh my God, I've got to get a real ID. All right, even if you do, BFD, go down to the DMV and get it. All right, like I said, it shouldn't be that difficult to show them your old ID, which proves your address, okay? You take your electric bill, your phone bill, your cable bill, your water bill, your mortgage statement, whatever. Not that difficult. 2 pieces of mail, all right? Your social security number or your social security card and your birth certificate. I'm sorry they're putting you out so much. And then the argument that was made all over social media yesterday. Oh my God, the government wants all this information from us. Really? Are we that dumb? The government already has all that information on you, plus a whole lot more. It's not like they're asking you for a DNA sample, which I don't know if you did 23andMe, they've already got that. I don't know. It's not like they're asking you for fingerprints. I don't know if you've ever worked in any field that requires them, i.e. me having to give my fingerprints to the SEC. If you've ever been arrested, they've got your fingerprints. It's not like they're asking you for a blood sample, okay? The government's already got all this information, and we're complaining about giving it to them. Who do you think gave us most of this information in the first place? The government issued your social security number, okay? So obviously they've got that one. The birth certificate that you have, gee, you lost it. Where do you have to go get it? The county clerk. Gee, that means the government already has that information. Oh, they want my address. Let's see. Monday, you got to turn in your taxes. Guess what? The government's already got your address, too. Okay. And, well, now they want it all in one place. Really? The IRS? You think they've already got it? I mean, start looking at some of the other stuff you have. I mean, your driver's license has already got most of the information on it. It doesn't have your social security number, but it's got your address, got your birth date. There's 2 right there you've already given. And the social security number, every agency in the world has, every credit card company has it. I mean, not for identification purposes, used to be stamped on the social security cards, right? And now, of course, that's basically you want to do about anything, and they want your social security number. Go to the doctor's office. What are your last 4? Okay. They're confirming who you are. That would be identification purposes, but it wasn't supposed to be used that way. So here we are with everybody screaming about not wanting to get a real ID, how it's government intrusion and everything. I look at this and I go, except you want all the illegals kicked out. Gee, Juan, do you have ID? Here. Well, gee, that's not a real ID. No, it's not. Then you haven't proved you're a citizen of the United States. Hop on the bus. Jose, show me your ID. Little gold star. Oh, Jose, thank you very much. You're a naturalized citizen or native-born citizen or whatever. You can go back to pulling feathers off a chicken. No big deal. Okay. Gee, we want everybody to show up at the polling place and present ID and make sure they're not illegals voting like the Democrats want. Please show your real ID. Here you go. My name is Bob Jones. Congratulations, Mr. Jones. I see the little star. I see you on the list. Here's your ballot. Go vote. Why everybody's bitching about this, I got no clue. But the hypocrisy of it is driving me insane. We're getting exactly what we asked for, and then we're complaining about it. Wake up, conservatives. Let's not play the liberal game. We want rules for all that are followed by all. Just because it inconveniences you that maybe you have to go change your driver's license, which you don't even have to do if you don't want to. If you got a passport, stop bitching. Pinball out.